Daf Kuf Yud Bet Amud Bet, starting from the top. Sechir Bismano, the Gemara mentioned the next part of the Mishnah that if the guy asks for his wages, that's when the worker can swear and collect, which is the opposite of what we usually do when someone swears to be patur. Over here, the other plaintiff is the worker is swearing to collect versus the employer swearing to be patur. Gemara says, Masachir, regarding the worker, how come Hachamim made a takana that he could swear and take it? Gemara says, it's a lot of major halachot here. Gemara says, Hani halachot hu, Tana takanot. It's not a halacha from the Torah that the guy can swear. It's the takana from Hachamim. Gemara says, okay, the major takana. The hidush. Lot, what do you mean you get the lot? Does that mean there's minor ones? Right, it's a very technical term. Big ones. Okay, other takanot are considered small. This is a lasting takana that was taught her, meaning shivuat balabayiti, meaning usually the employer, the guy who's trying to make himself patur, should swear. And Hachmim uprooted it, and put it to the employee, because of the employee's livelihood. We want to make sure he gets his money. So what? So what? So this guy can now swear falsely and make the owner lose money. How's that fair? Where it says, no, it's worth it for the employer because he'd rather have the employee should swear and take the money. Because if people think that he swears falsely to make if he was the one swearing and people would think he's swearing falsely, then no one will want to work for him. He himself, the worker himself. He'd rather have the employer swear because the other people would hire him versus thinking that he's swearing falsely to take money. Where it says no, it's easier for the employer because he was forced to hire workers. He needs workers, and therefore it's better for him to have the other guys swear because he needs to hire more workers. The Gemara says, okay, but the worker also needs to find jobs. And if he's swearing, people are not going to hire him for jobs anymore. The Gemara says, no, the reason why that the employer can't swear is because he must have been busy. And because he's busy with his other workers, he may have forgotten whether or not he paid. And therefore, we let the employee swear. Where it says, okay, let the guy give the worker without no shivua, no swearing. The Gemara says, no, we want the employer to swear just so the guy doesn't think he's getting scammed, that he has to pay him automatically, therefore we make him swear. Whereas, okay, so make sure that the guy has to pay with edim. Solves all problems. No one can swear false nor swear at all. Whereas, it's very hard to keep on getting edim every time you want to pay money. So let them prepay before, and he starts working, and there'll be no problem for shivua. It says, no, they'd both rather have the payment at the end. No one wants to front money before the job is done. And the employee also doesn't want the pressure of showing up every single day, every single second to make sure he hits his quotas. He'd rather have the heshbon handled at the end. Yeah, that's the case. I feel like tsunami. How come that doesn't apply even when you have a predestined amount of money? What is that talking about? Brayta says, if the craftsman said, you told me $2, and the owner says, no, I told you $1 for your work. The craftsman has to prove that it's $2 because he's trying to pull out more money. So how come there's no takana over there? Where it says, no, people remember a certain amount. However, wages after, let's say, a week's worth of work, it's easy to be forgotten. Right? That's the case that the employer can forget that he paid. I feel how come in the Mishnah, how come our Mishnah mentioned that if the time has passed of collecting, he doesn't swear anymore. It shouldn't make a difference. If the guy forgot, he forgot. So where it says, because a person generally won't let time pass without paying. And therefore, we can assume that he paid, and therefore the employee is not pleased anymore. The verse says, what do you mean? Hazakah. That he doesn't leave payment over. We just said this is a hazakah that the guy forgot because he's busy with other workers. So how can we assume they paid him on time? Where it says, no, he's only busy before the time to pay arrives. Once the time to pay arrives, He'll take upon himself and remember whether or not he paid. So why would an employee be over and stealing? Why should we rely that the guy did not pay past due and assume that the employee is trying to steal? Where it says "Hatam today hazaka, hazaka." We're going according to hazakot, right? Normal situations. So there's two things that support the employer and one thing that support the employee. Regarding the employer, there's two. حدد the end balabait over mission batalin. First of all, he wouldn't generally go overnight without paying. And also the employee doesn't usually wait to collect his money. Therefore, from the fact that it's a week later, whatever it is, we assume he already paid. But sorry, and regarding the employee, the only one that he wouldn't steal, and therefore the employer has the upper hand. Okay. The next part of the Mishnah says, if it's edim that he already requested the money, then he can swear and collect it. The Gemara says, come on, but he's already demanding money in court. So what's the hidush that he's bringing witnesses? The Gemara says, he's referring to the case. The edim testify that he requested money during the time that it was due. And therefore, even though now it's later, he can still swear. Gemara says, maybe he already paid him after he asked. Why can he still swear? Where it says, he's demanding every single day after the time is due. So even though it's a week later, but he asked every single day since then. Therefore, obviously, he wasn't paid. Maybe so. Therefore, what? He's never believed, the employer's never believed to say just because the guy's requesting whenever doesn't mean he didn't pay yet. Maybe he did pay. Why is the employee believed? Where it says, no, that day that he demanded his money, he's believed to swear. After that, he's not. Money for his friend. He cannot take the security item. We'll call it a blanket. We're not going to let the blanket from the guy in court. He can only take it in court, and he cannot enter the borrower's house to take the security. It says, just stand outside to receive the security. If the guy has two separate items, one's a day item and one's a night item, same value. Until he can take one, but must leave the other one behind. He has to return the night item, let's say the pillow at nighttime, and the plow by day. Now you have to, the person you borrow money from, who's borrowing money from you, gets to use his items at the correct time. We're not being mean. The immet, but if the borrower dies, the lender does not have to return these items to the heirs because they only apply to the person who lent the money to, and not his children. He says even better. The only time he has to return it to the lender, to the borrower, for the borrower to use is within the first 30 days. After that, he can sell them in court to collect the money. Amar Shmuel. He can grab it from the borrower in the street to give it to the lender as security, but he can't go to the house. You can't take it, you can only take it in bedin. That sounds like only in bedin you can take it out. The Gemara says, Mishnah is referring to the lender can't grab it except in bedin, but the shliach can. The Gemara says, you can prove it. Then I say it because the second part of the Mishnah says, that the guy can't enter the borrower's house to take the security. Money, what's that going to? Is referring to the lender. It doesn't make sense. We already know from the first part of the Mishnah that you can't go and grab it, except in bedin. That is referring to a shliach bedin teaching you that the borrower can't take the item. A question against what we just said according to Shmuel. The Gemara says, that's not a proof. Because the Mishnah is saying as follows. Someone lending lending money to his friend, he cannot take his security except in court. It sounds like the bedin mashkinin, that bedin can take an item by sending someone to his house. But lender, can't even take something in the street. The reason why he can't take it in the street because we don't want him to go into the guy's house to grab it, and therefore no proof against Shmuel. Next question. The pasuk says that you can't take the guy's millstone, the grinders from the guy's wheat. You take other stuff even from the guy's house. You can't take the garment of a widow, hazita. You don't want to take away her clothing. Sounds like you can't take other stuff even from the house. Man, who can take it? The lender. We know you can't enter the house, take the stuff. Sounds like a Shliach Badin can enter the house against Shmuel. The Gemara says, the Olam was referring to the lender. So how come in another pasuk teaching you can't enter the house? To teach you that there's two separate Yisurim. Tashma. Next question. Again, Shmuel. The pasuk sounds already said that you have to stand outside. Of course, I know that the person the borrower, has to bring the security out to you, the item out to you. So, why did the pasuk has to mention and the man? Obviously, if I have to stand outside, then someone has to bring it out to me. So obviously, the borrower has to bring it to me. The Ravot Shliach Bedin must be this teaching you the Shliach Bedin. Ma'alav Shliach Bedin Kilved. Must be like the Shliach Bedin is like the borrower teaching me that he can bring it out, just like the borrower. And obviously, the lender has to be outside, but we're proving against Shmuel. Shmuel says that we're trying to include the Shliach Bedin has the same power as the borrower, obviously the borrower's own house, to bring out the security outside. Question against Shmuel said that the borrower can't go inside. Mar says lo Shliach Bedin kimalveh. It's the opposite. The Shliach Bedin is like the lender, that he's also a sort to enter the borrower's house, and that's just like Shmuel.